Hello.
Hello.
On.
Okay, yeah, at last.
What happened? What happened just now?
I have no idea. Maybe there's something wrong about URL.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fix that, though. It's okay. It's already connected.
Yeah. Let me adjust the screen a little bit. What time is it there again? 10?
10, yeah, 10, maybe 5 minutes past.
Are you at home or are you in the office?
Home, so I have to stay in home. I cannot go to the company.
So it's lockdown now in Japan. What is it like? This
It's kind of lockdown right now in my place and also Tokyo and some other prefecture as well.
Where you're not in Tokyo, in Kyoto?
I'm in Osaka. You know
where? Osaka, yeah.
It's very.
And the office is in Osaka.
No, it's Kyoto. It's about like 1 hour from my place.
Yeah.
So morning.
Morning.
So how are you? Are you good?
I'm okay. Just do I look like I just woke up? Yeah. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming and joining.
Yeah. Can I?
Yep.
The conversation will I be able to ask you a question too? Like I for example, I want to know in Japan, are people consuming less coffee, more coffee in COVID? Yeah, I think we can make it a conversation. You can ask
more
me.
Kind of like chit-chatting conversation would be nice. And also later, I'm going to put some subtitles about this conversation and upload to YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. So current situation about Thai coffee popularity among our customer, it's quite good. So it's already sold out. Oh, it's almost sold out. Maybe like a 20, 30 kg leftovers right now.
Wow. And people buy in small bags, or it's a structure in Japan, right? The market structure that people buy 30 kg back instead of 60.
Yes.
Just the type of roaster.
Yeah. So because of the logistic issue right now in Japan, so most of the driver cannot deliver such a big, the set 60 kg or 70 kg bags. So that's why most of the coffee coming from other country is going to like 30 kg or sometimes 20 kg per bag.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and also we are doing kind of repacking. So in so
even less than that, right? That you sell.
Yes, that's right.
Wow. And when you repack, when you sell less, the margin is higher, right? You add more.
Yes. We are putting some margin more. Yeah, but the most of the roaster in Japan is kind of small. It's not so big consumptioner. So that's why. And also they want to have a lot of lineup, including your country's coffee.
Yeah.
So maybe like sometime they just buy 5 kg per month. And also we have like more than 1,000
20 kg per month as the whole roastery?
No, just your coffee.
Oh, just your coffee. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's like home consumption. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Right now, so we have 1,000 more clients.
Yeah.
So they just like buy 1 kilo per month, 1 ton. That's good.
Wow. How did it grow? When I was in Japan last time before you joined, was it 1,000 already? Was it like, or that's a lot of number of.
Yeah, that was like maybe 200 or 300 customers only.
Wow.
I put a lot of effort last year.
Yeah.
So that was.
And people consume more coffee during COVID.
Yes, that's right. It's really true. So most of the the people who are working at the company, they have to be grounded. So that's why while they're working at, they also consume a lot coffee.
Okay. All right. Should we start formally so you know when to cut? Yeah.
So maybe most of the people, our clients already know about you, but could you introduce yourself a bit?
Yes. Hello, everyone in Japan. Good morning. It's 8 a.m. 8-ish a.m. here and 10 a.m.-ish in Japan. My name is Fuadi Pitsuwan. I am a co-founder of Beans Spire Coffee. We are a developer and an exporter and a miller of Thai coffee beans that you are probably tasting and will be tasting soon, hopefully. I have been doing this formally for the past 6 years, and then I've been involved in coffee for 7 or almost 8 years now. And it has been a long and fun journey. I met Hiro a long time ago, actually, probably 2015 or 16 was it in Atlanta? Oh, no. Or was it in Seattle?
Yeah, that was
Seattle, I think. Yeah, in SCAA, we hosted a cupping of Southeast Asian coffee during one of the shows in the US, and that's when I met Hiro. Hiro was working on Myanmar coffee then. I'm really grateful for all of you, roasters or consumer, if you have a chance to watch this, to be one of the choices that you can be, enjoy your morning or afternoon coffee. And we're all really excited in Thailand to see Thai coffee in Japanese language or Japanese roaster bags, because we don't normally actually export that much, and probably I bet only 1 or 2% of Thai coffee produced here get exported, but we are actually one of the top 25 coffee producers in the world. People just don't know about us because it doesn't get exported as much, because the local consumption is very high. And also the fact that we are a middle income country. I think you will not see that many countries around the world that have the kind of infrastructure, have the kind of quality of life, standard of living in Thailand, and still produce green coffee locally. That's the reason why you probably see the Thai price point as being a little bit more expensive than other origins. So think of it more like Hawaiian Kona. Think of it more of like Costa Rica, from good coffee from upper middle income country. Even though it's more expensive, I like to say that it's for Thailand, it's not just quality and price. It's also quality, price, and sustainability. The fact that we are an upper middle income country, the fact that the cost of production is a little higher, the fact that the retail price of green is a little bit higher is, in some sense, that is a good thing. It's a testament and a proof that coffee could work as a source of livelihood for farmers. And the phenomenon that you see here in Thailand, I have made this argument before, that it should be replicated elsewhere around the world in terms of all country of origin. Local consumption should be a good choice for farmers. Export should be another choice that farmers have. A lot of farmers around the world don't have a local market, and they rely solely on export market. So we have that going in Thailand, but as a result, because this is working, the price point is a little bit more expensive. But then you are paying for something that is proven to work as a source of livelihood. So you are acting as a testament. Using Thai coffee mean you are showing that it could work, and it helps drive children of farmers come back to farm. They will go to city to work, to study. And then, in other countries, we have issue the coffee of origins around the world have issue of young people leaving farms to pursue opportunity elsewhere. In Thailand, that trend is reversed. Younger people, children of farmers who have had their life elsewhere, come back to farm to continue growing coffee, which is a phenomenon that are rarely seen in other origins. And I think buying Thai coffee, supporting Thai coffee, Thai farmers help keeping this dynamic alive. Help I think be a case that is a success, that it should be replicated elsewhere. I think if it doesn't get supported, if it doesn't get showcased around the world, then I think eventually the trend might reverse. And to keep this going, I think I'm really thankful. So if you get to come to visit, if this year was not a COVID year, and Hiro, you get to come visit, you will see that in Chiang Mai itself, where I am right now, we produce in two main areas, Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai. In Chiang Mai is one of the big cities in Thailand. If you haven't been, we have local cafes that has top machine. We have two cafes now that just opened that have mud bar.
Yeah.
The under the counter machine, very sleek. Many of them have what do you call a keys when the Vastin, a spirit machine. Have you seen it? The sexy one, or even other top brands from European machines, which is another phenomenon that you don't really see in other coffee growing provinces. I mean, it's when you land in Chiang Mai, 45 minutes you can be at the farm, and then the farmers can come to the city and sell the coffee to high-end specialty roaster, similar kind of technicality with European, Japanese roaster. We have top North roasting machine here. It's a totally new dynamic. Yeah, not new, but it's a different dynamic than that other coffee origins.
Yeah, actually, it's most of the roaster in Japan. I was also thinking about that. So, and also they're super jealous about your status, because so the roaster in Japan, they don't have any coffee farm, and so they have no idea usually about coffee production. But they are thinking they want to stick closer to producer. But because of the distance, it's quite difficult.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of distance, Thailand maybe, is it the closest, or is it Hawaii? Well, you have Yunnan, you have Sumatra, you have Taiwan if you're gonna go, but Thailand is probably one of the. Taiwan has a little bit of coffee too. And I have made an argument before that Thailand is gonna move to become like Taiwan, because we produce Japanese cars now. We have the technology. We have upper middle income. We grow coffee. It moving to be like Taiwan, producer and also makers of machine and sophisticated consumption culture. So in terms of origin, that's what I like to say to Japanese friends too, that it is one of the closest origins that you can come to. And it's probably the most recognizable origins as well to Japanese consumers, or even our traditional normal drinker would probably have been to Thailand on vacation. We have the biggest
Southeast Asia.
And then they are more familiar compared to a lot of other origins around the world. And you see the Thai, the name of countries in the offerings. Other countries may seem far away and they may not familiar, but Thailand, they probably have some idea of what Thailand or where Thailand is.
Right. Like as you mentioned, so the local consumption is one of the choice for producers, right? Like could you describe the local consumption in Thai right now, not right now, I mean, so the before the COVID.
Before COVID, oh wow! I think there's a big boom in local consumption as well as the country become more economically developed. The income of the middle class rises, and the fact that rises, I think help make coffee become seen as a luxury product. I think the coffee phenomenon in the new consumption country like Thailand, like even Indonesia, Vietnam, or China in general, coffee is seen more as a luxury product rather than the staple that it has to be cheap, like in Europe, like in the US. I think Japan might be the exception that coffee has been consumed for so long. But I think that is changing too in Japan. But yeah, for us, the local consumption is actually because during COVID, local consumption helped absorb the demand actually.
So aside from Thai coffee, are there any other countries' coffee are available?
Local consumption? Yes, but a lot of, because we have really high tariff. So in order to import foreign coffee into Thailand, sometimes you're faced with 90 to 100% tax. That was, yeah. So that's the government incentive to make Thai roaster use Thai coffee as well. So that's another reason why the price point is a little bit higher as well, because there is a protection. So everyone compete to use Thai coffee. There's limited Thai coffee, so to get driven up a little bit. So that's good for farmers from farming perspective. That it helps them make more income. If you come, or if someone come eventually, then you will see that the level of development, even in farmers' livelihood, compared to other coffee producing countries, it a lot more developed in terms of sophistication. Like these coffee that you will be tasting, the Doisaket, the couple, the guy is an engineer, the lady is an accountant. So that's not an uncommon phenomenon to have farmers who have had bachelor degrees. And then the Doi Pangkon, Doi Saket is a couple that we work with. They are engineer, and the guy is an engineer. The wife is an accountant. The Doi Pangkon is that we work, that the majority that we sent to Japan. They are a family of 5 brothers, and I think 4 of them have had bachelor degrees or high technical education. So it's not uncommon to see like that. And the oldest of the 5 brothers is 40 years old. So within, maybe younger than the roaster, which is a rare phenomenon. So to in and I think you see more of that phenomenon in Asia because the local consumption help with that. I think in other origins, the farmers tend to be older.
Yeah. Do you have any idea about total production in Thai, and also how much volume is already consumed per year in Thailand?
Yeah. In terms of Arabica, we produce about 10,000 tons a year. We've been growing every year, except last year was the worst yield in 10 years. So this year, no, not last year, the 2 years ago, 2019 was, and then I think from there it's coming back up again. We had rust in 2019, so people cut down trees, and then last year was a high yield year. This year is a bit lower, but not as low as 2019. So about I would say about 10,000 tons of Arabica a year, and for Robusta it's about 20 to 30,000 tons a year. The figures vary, so it's really hard to say exactly what it is. But then the local consumption is already about 70,000 tons a year. So one, that means people compete for Thai coffee. Second, people smuggle coffee from Laos, from Myanmar into Thailand to sell. So a lot of times you see coffee being labeled as Thai coffee, but it's so cheap that it cannot be Thai coffee. So we know it's Laos, but because it's Mako in, so no one really knows. So
I also heard about the rumor. Actually, it's no rumor; it's actual. In Tachi Lake in Myanmar, I made a visit to there, and so I met some farmer in there, and some farmer mentioned about the smuggling as well.
Yeah, into Thailand. Yeah, because the price point is higher, and if it can be sold as Thai, then it's become a higher price product. Yeah, so that's a challenge to smuggle. And the issue is they are the same, because people in northern Thailand, in the hill tribe, on the mountain, they are of the same ethnicity. The borders are artificial for them. You know, they have their relative on the other side, like the Akha family that we work with. They have friends and family on the Myanmar border. So it's actually the same. They don't see border as border like how countries have made it seem how the world has made it seem. So for them, there is no border. So it's actually one family. So a lot of times I don't know if you can actually fault them for that. So it's really important to know your source of coffee. That's my point. And better to buy cherries, buy parchment, so we know exactly where they come from.
Yeah, actually, so I and our team, also the roster, really appreciate your work and the farmers' work. It's really true. And so I have a curiosity. So as you mentioned, the current status in Thai is quite high compared with other countries like the Latin, Central America or South American coffee. So, and it's really like a competitive market right now for coffee industry through all over the world. What's goals, or what is a trigger make you or bring into coffee industry, and why you start?
You mean for me? Why do I start thinking about exporting?
Yeah, because it's quite like the competitive market.
I understand. It's because I study abroad. I had the opportunity to study in the US and also in the UK. So I've gone to cafe as a consumer. I have had roaster friends, and I feel like, because I know we grow quite a lot of coffee, and I feel like there should be Thai coffee representing in these top roasters around the world. That it started more as of a nationalistic reason. I just want to see Thai coffee in these cities, in this high-end specialty cafe. So that really drove me to do it. But then once I am in it, I also realized that it's not a lucrative business. It's one is difficult. Two, I can probably spend my job doing something else and makes more money. But the fact that I'm still in it, I think it's a lot more about relationship. I think about the fact that I have given hope to farmers. Farmer become reliant on me to work with them, and I feel like there is this sense of obligation that I have to keep helping. I have to do it. I have to grow it. I have to help them success. I have to help because I'm the one who's responsible for giving them that hope in the first place. When I started, I thought I would be able to give them even a higher price than this. When I was not aware that some coffee origin of the same quality as Thailand is half the price. So when I found out, I was like, man, this is going to be difficult. But then there, like I said, there are things about Thailand that help sells itself as well, and the fact that you're paying more, but it actually come back more to farmer. I feel like Thailand shouldn't be an exception. It should be the norm. I think every other country should be like Thailand. That's what I like to say. And then I look to like I said, I look to Hawaii and Costa Rica as the model, as the hope. A micro meal, niche product. You might buy less of it, but you people recognize it. People want to have it. I hope Thai coffee can get to that level of status that, whether I don't aim to be like Indonesia or even bigger market than that, but even that is not quite is not small. We are actually, I think the last time I checked, we export more than Panama and we produce more coffee than Panama and Hawaii combined.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah, so it's quite and then I think we are probably close to Kenya if you count Robusta as well in terms of production. Yeah, I think we were bigger than Rwanda or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so but people don't really recognize it.
The idea of your business is first you at the first of the starting point. So you try to focus on exporting at the beginning.
Yeah, it's we not only at the beginning. We might be the only group or the only company in Thailand that focus solely on exporting. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'm able to get to this point because that's the only thing I think about. I sell to my friend locally because they have helped me. I need market diversification. Mm-hmm. And the local roaster themselves want to see Thai coffee, get exported too. Some of it, they want to use Thai coffee, but they also want to see their country from their own country get exported to top roaster around the world. So they buy from the local perspective, from the local roaster perspective. If you only care about profit, if you don't care about supporting local farmers in Thailand, you would rather use Lao coffee because it's half the price. So the smuggled coffee is much cheaper. But then they buy my coffee because they know that if they buy, then I can make a sustainable business so that Thai coffee can get exported. I grow more locally than export, even though I want to export more just because I want to showcase all this the work of farmers and then my friend who produce these coffee.
Mm-hmm. So aside from Japanese market, so which country you are now exporting to?
The last time I count, we are in 13 to 15 countries.
Wow.
Yeah. So but then it actually goes to Europe in Rotterdam and then gets spread there to different parts of Europe. So I work with an importer there. In the US, we do quite a lot. And last year was the first time we exported to Japan. No, not Japan, to Australia. Japan was a few years in a row. Yeah, because what I found that the market that traditionally consume coffee, consume darker roast, consume cheaper coffee. If you go to an espresso bar and it costs $1 a cup, those countries, it's really hard to export Thai coffee because they expect the price of coffee to be really low. But then the newer country where coffee is just starting, specialty is starting to become, more, it doesn't have a strong local consumption of, traditional coffee, cheaper coffee. Those countries, I feel like I get to sell Thai coffee more easily.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I felt last year was the first time when we were able to export to Australia because they buy such a big volume at a cheap price for green bean. So it's not easy to find the right match. What I realized that I'm not a good match for every country and for every roaster. So there are people who care a lot about sustainability, about farmers' livelihood, people who have special connection to Thailand. These type of roasters would be a good fit for Thailand.
Yeah, actually, that's really good idea. Right now, like for example, in Japan, so the roaster they're like seeking for quality, but also they're like seeking for story behind the coffee. Mm-hmm. So they need those kind of story. What kind of story behind the coffee? That's a very important part right now in Japan. So along with quality, they need story. Then so your coffee, definitely there are tons of story. Then so
and then a lot from your experience when you talk to these roasteries or even consumer, do they have many of them come to visit Thailand as a tourist?
Yes. So
that helps too, right?
Yeah, that's also, they have an idea about Thai.
Yeah.
So that's why they are easy to connect their idea. And also that coffee coming from Thai. And so it's getting famous.
Okay.
Because last year we imported like, how many bags we imported? Like a 100
I think
bags?
or something like that. Not a lot, but this
It's
year
not
you
a lot.
grew. Yeah. So what I want to say is, I think maybe the only country that we grew in terms of export this year maybe is Japan.
That's good news.
Yeah. So that's surprising actually, because I think we export 80% less to the US.
Wow.
Last season. So this year we don't know. Japan. So I don't know how we will do with export this year because of the situation is still quite bad. What I realized is that in Europe and in the US, in Europe we were able to stay the same. In the US we were 80% down. I think because people still consume coffee a lot. People buy a lot of coffee in grocery store, but then they buy cheaper coffee. Because I think money become more precious, the spending become more conscious about spending, and the fact that it's Thailand is a niche product, higher price point in Europe and in the US, they tend to buy less of that. So but then the local demand helped absorb a lot of that. I think, but we came out of COVID quite okay in the first wave, hoping that the second wave will be okay. So in that sense, the local roaster helped with that a lot. Yeah.
So about like COVID, okay, let's get back to the talk about COVID. So how COVID affect to the producers, or do you have any affection to them?
Yeah, I think it become, well, first there are no visitors. Even myself have to be careful to when I go visit farms. I have been only a few times this year, just because their village are also they are so quite protective. So I mean people in the cities are actually, the disease are more pervasive in big cities, in Bangkok and stuff. So this year there are a lot less visitors. So from last year you guys came to visit. So this year you guys didn't come because of COVID, like that. So we don't have foreign visitors this year at all. Local roaster a lot more conscious, and then we are just in the second lockdown phase right now. So but the production is still ongoing, and we have no idea whether we would come out of this having more demand than expected or lower than demand. So if we produce more than we could sell, then we are in trouble. If we produce less than the demand, then that's also not a good thing, because we have to renegotiate the contract. So we don't really know. I think that the toughest thing about COVID is the inability to predict what the demand would be. It could go up, it could go down. People can cancel on contract. We could produce more, we could produce less. Then if the situation become better in the next 3 months, I think the demand will shoot up, right? In most countries, at least. I think in Japan it's quite unique that people lock down, people drink more coffee, but in other countries, I think more in generally people consume less. So yeah, so we don't really know. We have to wait and see. And so it's a bet now. I think we grow locally, but the demand could collapse anytime. So I think it's about managing that risk that is difficult, because farmer, it's all cash. If you can't turn the green bean to sell the green bean into cash, and that's all in stock, and that's gonna hurt the business and the farmers too.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, as you mentioned, the Japanese market is kind of unique market. I guess that is because there are a lot of micro roasters in Japan. And so they are located in the like a township. In the town, not in the central, in each prefecture. So that's why even though they are locked down, that they have to. The people in Japan has to stay in home. They also have a coffee shop or bean shop nearby their house. Then so it's very easy to access to buy it and consume in the house. So those kind of like network or kind of location of the micro roaster in Japan, I guess that is a kind of hint or key point.
So these roasters that located in township, because I'm not so familiar. I mean, I've been to Japan. Are they more of the traditional kind of Japanese roaster? Or are they, you know, the lighter roast kind of influence from Europe and US kind, or all types? Or how
all type. It's all type. But maybe the majority of it is they focus on like a bit darker roast coffee than usual specialty grade coffee. So most of the Japanese, they also love the sweetness and also bitterness. Not like very bright acidity. So the roaster also focus on like the coffee which will be roasted maybe 20 seconds or 30 seconds after the second clock. Yeah, those kind of roasting level is kind of preferable for Japanese. Yeah, of course, so there are a lot of roasters, they focus on light roast, and they're selling a lot though.
And these guys that do lighter roast are more in big cities?
Yes, in the city, in the central.
Interesting. So does that mean that
interesting?
Does that mean that the roaster that do darker roast would prefer wash more than natural or other types, or does it matter?
Usually the roaster they prefer to roast darker. They like the wash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I wonder what it would be like if you dark roast natural. It might be interesting too, but I don't know. I don't know if people would be like,
too much.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. But I really like that about Japan, I think, because I feel like even if you are young, you know, you can, the range of coffee presentation is much larger than what I'm familiar with even in Thailand, in Europe, and in the US, because you have people like, you know, our age or younger, who are in specialties coffee, knows everything about coffee, but chose deliberately to present it like this way, like darker, because this is how I want to present it. And I feel like you don't really see that in other countries.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Japanese is kind of unique market, I think. And also the distribution way in Japan is kind of unique. So usually like US, so they're importing coffee and they're selling directly to roasters, right? But in Japan, it's not like that. So usually importer selling to wholesalers, and the wholesaler distribute to roasters. So my company, Sakanotochu Umi no Muko Coffee, so it's kind of the functioning as a importer and wholesaler. So it's kind of unique market, I think, in Japan.
Oh, so trader and seller of the distributor are different in Japan usually.
Yeah, usually. Yeah. Anyway, so even though you are facing kind of the difficulty about the COVID, so I guess I heard and I read through your Facebook, you're now trying to do kind of unique processing for coffee quality improvement, I guess.
I think this year we in one of the areas, Dorsegate, which you guys are also getting. It's a higher price point coffee. It's typical variety. We're doing what they call anaerobic fermentation. That's when you hold the cherry in a closed tank for a few days to let the flavor, to let the fermentation happen. In a closed tank means there's a one-way valve that oxygen can escape, because when during fermentation you produce carbon dioxide and then it push out oxygen, so the fermentation become much more efficient. And we will see what the result. The idea is that it become more complex, more intense. So I hope for good things, but because of its experiment, it could also turn bad as well. But it's a big risk. So, but then that's what we're trying in one of the mountains. In Pangkon, area, the wash, we're trying to make it more complex by making the dry fermentation process a bit longer. So it's a bit more risky, but I think this year we don't have the harvest rain. So harvest rain is a big problem during processing, because if you decide to do something and it rain, then basically you have to basically it's a big risk. You can get more, you get everything. So this year we don't really have rain, so I think we are experimenting a little bit with more intensity, more longer fermentation. So we'll see what that will come out.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So curious about to taste.
Yeah.
So maybe this year I've already sent the purchase order. Maybe there we will add some more.
Hopefully. Hopefully you can add some more
experimental coffee.
Yeah. So I think I'm really grateful for the help that your help and also the roaster help in getting Thai coffee to this point. It's beyond my expectation, I think, to be export this level to Japan.
Yeah, still there are a lot of rooms to improve more about Japanese market, kind of awareness of Thai coffee. So our side as well. So my side as well, I'm also doing a lot of the effort or endeavor for the promotion of Thai coffee and the Southeast Asian countries' coffee. So hopefully this year we can increase more about awareness of Southeast Asian country, including your country.
Have you started importing anything from any countries yet this year, or is everything still delayed? Or
still it's late. Like in Myanmar, still it's underdeveloped. So maybe on February it will be big harvest time. And then now it's harvesting right now, but because of the community issue, so we have to change the community to other community.
Wow.
In Vietnam, it's now harvesting. And
because another issue that I haven't said yet, I don't know if you have seen the issue with shipping this year, because my friend who are exporting to Europe and US is saying that the freight cost is like double because stuff doesn't get returned from those countries, because US don't export, so the containers would go there and then they don't get sent back. So that's why there's less container to be booked right now in around the world. So that's why the freight price went up. I don't know if you have experienced that yet.
Not really. I guess so. It's already resolved. Last year on June, July, such a situation was really a problem. The scarcity of containers. But right now it's getting better.
Better, right?
Putting from let's say the Ethiopia or Kenya or Central America. So there are plenty of container right now. So not so worried about that, I guess. Hopefully,
yeah. Because my friend is sending something to Europe with coffee from Indonesia, and then he just found out that the freight price doubled. So that's what I'm scared of too.
If we face the station, such a situation, let's discuss again about the price.
Hopefully, I keep checking.
Anyway, so when the sample will come up to?
I probably wait a little bit so that it get closer to the actual stuff that will be shipped, because we're probably in the first 30% or 20% of the harvest still. I think the cherry this year sometime every year the level of cherry that arrive at the mill or ripeness shift every year. And sometimes if you're familiar with math, sometimes it will be like a normal distribution, like increase slowly and then peak in the middle of the season and then drop slowly. This year it's more like they would call it a Poisson distribution, high peak at the beginning and then quickly drop. So I think it might be like that this year. instead of slowly increasing to the peak in the middle, it will be peak in the first this month and early next month, and then drop really quickly. So I think it might be like that, but that becomes an issue at the mill, because then the drying racks become filled. So it affects production. It doesn't mean like right when cherry comes we can produce and dry because we have limited drying space. So it's not like we can take much more than that. So that's a problem. And which means the farmer needs more money to finance to buy the cherries, so we have to pay faster. So it become a whole different. Every year you have to adjust according to Mother Nature, when the cherry would ripe. So it's not like always be according to plan. Sometimes you need quicker money to be dispersed to the farmer, because our role is basically to help finance the farmers to produce to buy cherry from other farms to get to the volume that we need to export.
Yeah, so in other countries, so we did kind of crowdfunding for producers. Maybe to you or the collaboration with your company, so we also can do kind of the crowdfunding to help, or doing prepayment to farmers. Then maybe probably that will be the big help.
That would help.
So I will work on it. Yeah, but anyway, so I'm very looking forward to receive this year's samples.
Yeah, and then I probably send you more type as well, because there may be other things that we haven't sent to Japan last year, but I feel like you might like it when you get to taste it.
Yeah. I want to have it.
Yeah, because there are a lot of, the good thing in Costa Rica, there was this phenomenon called micro mill revolution, where smaller farms have their own micro mills and produce their own coffee. I think Thailand is structured, the farm level structure is kind of like that. This is, I think I need to explain to roaster who might be listening to this. In Laos and Brazil, you see this big farm with mechanical harvesting. In Thailand, I have to compare it to Latin America, it will be more like Guatemala or Panama, Guatemala or Costa Rica of Southeast Asia, right? That sense, like big, smaller farms, hand pick, hand harvest, a little bit higher price point. So that's how I see the Thai market. But then that gives an opportunity of roaster working with a specific mill or on working on micro lots. So there will be, if you guys are interested, there could be potentially 2 to 3 bags of different processing, but then that would be harder to cup it because then we need to send more samples. But then if at some point when we get to, we might be able to do those like 120 300 kg or less per lot, and then just different kind of coffee.
Interesting, very interesting.
But it will be harder for you to sell, because then when you send sample to these roaster, that it might be gone already by the time they taste it, or then there will be more sample to send. So it will be a challenge that way.
In our side as well, so there are meticulous works we have to do though.
To market small lots, right? Then it'll be more difficult.
But it's really interesting to the tackle with it. So I guess we have to do that one, because roaster wants to doing that.
I mean, if the roaster want, then if they tell you I want 120 kg of something, or even 30 kg of something that is really special, they don't need to cup it, then it can happen really easily. Just take that.
Discuss with that.
Or if you have some roaster friend who trust us enough and who have that wide range of acceptability of, it could be a natural, it could be a clean wash, it could be something out there. If they're willing to, if they know they can sell it, I think you are in for some really exciting coffee, I think.
That's good. I never seen such a person though.
Really? I if it's 30 kg, I mean, I just want to send some of these, but then it's really hard to send sample because in the cost of sending sample, if I send coffee directly to roaster and they buy less than 5 to 10 bags, then the cost of sending sample is the profit.
Yeah.
You know,
That's right.
and a lot of time they don't buy anything, so it's a big risk to send sample to roaster.
Yes. So we had to find a way the roasters in consuming country to like jump in the production side. So those kind of the bridging is kind of,
and if they understand, if one day they become more understanding of the process, they could, if they have enough volume, they could tell us how to process it. And then we process it the way they want it. But then the issue is it might not turn out the way that they expect. It could be over fermented. It could be, but if they could do it for like 30 kg, you know, and then we send it anyway, and it's their own process that they thought of, then it could be done too if they're willing to take that risk.
But they also have to enjoy that kind of failure coffee.
Yeah, and it's a good story too. If they can find a way.
Very good story.
Yeah. But I have never seen it totally fail. I feel like anything that you do it intentionally and then you communicate, then I think it can be so. Yeah.
I think so. Anyway, so it's already 1 hour. So I guess so for now this is good enough. So maybe so we can set up another session maybe after arrive of the sample from you. Then cool. So I'm going to
we can discuss it.
Anyway.
You guys, what do you guys use as a sample roaster there?
Usually, so we are using the Fuji Royal sample roaster, and you know Ikawa, right? We are using 2 roasting machine.
Cool. So we could share profile, and then so we can have the same exact roast.
Yes.
But the water might be different. You know, I have had
quite different.
I have had coffee that tasted from the same profile but have 2 completely different tasting notes just because the person cupping on the other side.
It's flavor profile. But so we also can see the tendency that we can share how much differences between Thai water and Japan water. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Shiro. Thank you for your support. Thank you, the roaster or whoever watching this as well for supporting Thai coffee. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.